Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune. Oh, losing my voice here. For the 25th day of March, 2020. Well, it's a Wednesday. It's let's see, it would be a 7 energy day. So I guess we're going to maybe take an observer role today. It looks like there's a little movement on a bill in the Senate. I don't know what that means for the House. So maybe we just need to take a sit back and wait attitude today to see what's going to be going on. Let's see. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you so much for coming by. And if you have any comments or questions, you can always add them down below the video in the comments section. I love to hear from people. This is all still just tarot's a journey. Runes are a journey. You never know everything there is to know. And it might strike somebody some way, the reading might, and that's different than the way I'm talking about it. And the thing is it might, your comment might open it up for someone else, to have that resonate maybe a little bit more with them than something I'm saying. So don't be afraid to put things down, even if it's just some off the wall interpretation that just happens to strike you, it's all there to help. It's all there to make this better. So feel free. I welcome it. I'm not I only know what I know. So I'm always open to learning more about this. And I really appreciate people's comments. So especially right now when people are stuck inside and in the quarantine and we're trying to flatten this whole COVID spike that we're in, I think it's going to be the only thing we can do since there's not any kind of a therapeutic out there to lessen the severity of it. The only thing you can do is not get it. And in turn, not carry it around and spread it to other people. So stay home, stay quarantined, listen to your governors if they're making sense, if they're following the guy in the Oval Office, don't listen to them. Listen to the CDC, listen to Dr. Fauci, listen to Governor Cuomo. Listen to Governor Brown, Governor Inslee, Governor Newsom. I know that there are others that are making sense. Those are the ones that are here on the West Coast where I am. So, and I'm hearing Governor Cuomo a lot. So pay attention and stay safe and keep others safe in the process. So let's go ahead, though, and let's take a look at it's getting kind of warm in the still room here with the candles on. Let's go ahead and take a look at the astrology for today. If you haven't been here before, we do that first. And then we'll go ahead and take, 3 cards. And then we will close out with an Elder Futhark rune. And then we'll we'll create a geomancy rune at the end to finish out with some earth divination methods. But right now, we'll stick to the stars, and the moon is in the 12th house of Aries, so we're going to be looking for other ways to interact with others right now during the quarantine. We're still in retreat. We want to think about the bigger picture here. This isn't simply about us; it's about other people. A lot of people have they have compromised immune systems. I know I did for a long time, and mine's doing pretty well right now, but it was bad for a long time, and I was very lucky that I never got any colds during that time. I never got any flus during that time. I never got anything, and that was actually quite amazing that didn't happen. As all the medicines I was on, I had severe rheumatoid arthritis, and I don't know how I didn't. So right now, we've sort of been in self-isolation for some time, much longer than what other people really. Until people actually started being forced to do it, we'd been in self-isolation for several weeks prior to that. So pretty much since we got back from vacation, the end of December, we've kind of been hunkered down because we've been hearing about it, and we knew it was going to come here. I mean, you have travel, it's going to come here, it's going to go everywhere, right? And that was obvious. So to say that nobody knew, yeah, we all knew. We can all close our eyes to it or think, oh, well, it's just like the flu. Well, it didn't seem like it to me and didn't seem like it to my husband. So we've actually kind of been somewhat quarantined since, January, really. but we're doing it because we can't get sick. We can't have that level of change in our lives right now. We just can't, and we don't want it, right? And given our age, it's not a good thing. And so we're doing everything we can. And those of you who continue to stay home and observe the quarantine, you're helping people like us. You're helping older people. You're helping anyone with a compromised immune system. You're helping, well, you're helping everything. You're helping flatten that curve. And so continue to do that. Think about the bigger picture. Sun's in the 12th house Aries. Again, contemplate what's happening, develop different plans for the future. Semi-square with Venus and the Sun, go with the flow and reassess frequently. Focus on the positive right now as best you can. Sun's square north and south nodes of the moon. Things are changing quickly. Pay close attention. Take the support where you can get it. Offer support where you can. Focus again. Synchronicities are happening. Destiny may figure in here. Let's see. You're going to have to make the necessary changes you have to make, and irrespective of the outcome, you have to do it. Conjunct Chiron, develop healthier habits, obviously. That's likely in terms of social distancing. If you are out and about, if you are walking around, make sure you've got masks on, gloves on. Don't touch the railings on anything. And people that are licking things in grocery stores, I just saw where one woman decided to lick the handle of a freezer thing in a freezer door at a grocery store, cold storage door, one of those metal things, She licked the handle in protest to coronavirus. She's a carrier and she doesn't know it. She just transferred it to everybody that touches that. What an idiot. Don't be like that woman or that idiot guy who now has it and he went and he licked a bunch of stuff along in a grocery store aisle, a bunch of boxes of whatever. I don't even know what it was. Doesn't matter. But again, knock it off. He's got coronavirus now. He's got the COVID thing. He's got this. How stupid is this guy? Don't be like that guy. Think outside the box. Think about others right now. Mercury, 11th house Pisces, intuition is strong. Explore interactions with others, but online. Take a more reflective attitude. Take a more compassionate attitude toward others. Semi-square Jupiter, we may need to adopt other ways to learn right now. Focus on online courses. I've got some listed below my video here. Places that you can think about, if you're trying to improve your training, professional training. There's one there. There's also, if you're a programmer, there's one down below there for that. The mushroom course is out right now with Herbal Academy. If you want to, take that, you could take that right now. Registration's still on for that. So there's things that you can do. Oh, and if you did anything like that and you did it through my link, I'd get a commission on the sale. So just know that I'm an affiliate person for them. But just figure out another way of functioning right now. Venus, first house Taurus, be aware of others, nurture the feminine side, nurture other people, but, maybe appreciate what you have. Take a moment to because it's easy to get down right now, isn't it? To be frightened. If you just take some time every day to find out the things you're actually appreciative of, like I'm happy this pen works. I mean, something even as simple and silly as that, it does shift your mood. It does shift your perception into a better place. It really does. So do that. Let's see, Mars, 10th house Capricorn. Again, use this time for individual study. Think about career. Think about the downtime. Think about in terms of what you can do with that with the downtime if you're working from home, or maybe you're thinking about other side things you need to be doing to get some money coming in till we figure out what's going to happen with the government and how much they're going to give people. But that looks like that's in progress right now. Whether or not it's a done deal or the House needs, I would have guessed the House needs to look at it. So I don't know where it is. Strategic thinking is necessary, though, now. Mars conjunct Pluto, that's been the case for several days, obviously. I mean, I think this stuff is obvious, but I think it takes on new meaning given the situation. Jupiter, 10th house Capricorn, also expand horizons, enroll in a course, no travel. If you're going to do the travel, do it on virtual, to take a look at what's going on out in the world. You want to explore knowledge to reassess your perspective here, your perception and life's meaning or purpose. This, you can make use of this time. It's scary, but we can't simply be caught up in the fear of it. We have to do something. We have to act in a way that protects us. Because Jupiter is still conjunct Pluto, it's very strong, and we have the resolve to accomplish anything we want to right now. And we should be using it for good instead of, selfishness. Saturn, 10th house Aquarius, reassessment of life direction. Again, a lot of 10th house activity right now. Think outside the box. Things are changing. Again, when you realize that you have a president who doesn't care if you live or die, then obviously we have to rethink things. It's all about making sure he's got money coming in his own personal life. So he's not supposed to be worried about right now, but of course that's what he's doing. Uranus, 12th house Taurus, again, open to new changes and experiences. This is the same running theme we've been having in the outer planets. Well, and not just there, it's everywhere, right? It's everywhere. Rethinking things, reassessment, a bunch of 10th house stuff going on. But it's also this fourth quadrant. Friendships and partnerships with the 11th house, the 12th house, endings and reassessment and considering, our purpose, all of that, sort of an inner focus, right? Neptune's still 11th house Pisces. Pluto, 10th house Capricorn. See the truth of self during this time. We got to wake up about what really matters. This is a transformational time. And again, life direction may change. And we don't know, it could change for the better. Yeah, there could be some awful things that happen right now too. That's part and parcel with a pandemic. Unfortunately, it's just the reality of this. So hold everyone as close as you can at a distance. Connect with people that maybe you're estranged from. Just drop all of it. It doesn't matter now. We don't know how many of us will be here when all is said and done. So please, whatever is going on in your life, if you need to reconnect, do so. This is critical at this point. It may make all the difference, even if you don't lose those people through this. It could make all the difference in how we get through this by coming together in shared purpose with other people, particularly those that are waiting to hear from us, okay? Maybe they're afraid to contact. So be the one that isn't afraid and reach out and make the contacts you need to make. Reconnect with people. Maintain your connections with people any way that you can, as long as you do it from 6 feet distance and in masks if you're with them, that's all. Don't touch them, don't get near them, but let them know you love them. And we're all going to adjust to this, okay? We're all going to adjust, but we're going to do it because we've done it in shared purpose. So that's enough of that. Let's go ahead and get on with the reading. I just feel so strongly about this, and I want us to understand that things are going to go the way they're going to go, but how we function within it matters, and whatever we can do to affect the outcome right now by social distancing, by taking precautions, by, if you don't have a surgical mask, make one, even if it's, tying a t-shirt around your face or a handkerchief, a bandana, anything, a towel, anything. If it's taking a wash rag, folding it a couple of times, putting some string, some twine, poking a hole in a couple holes in each end, put some twine or something, whatever you've got, string, and tie it around your face. Do whatever you have to do so that you're here tomorrow, right? Because we need everyone. We need everyone to survive. So do whatever you have to do to take care of yourself and to be responsible for other people. So let's go ahead and see what the cards have to say. If this is your first time here, again, welcome. If you've come back, thank you. Click subscribe if you haven't done that, because I really do want you to come back and share this time with all of us. And how I'm going to do this, I'm going to take the first 3 cards. I'm going to take the 13th one each time for randomness sake. In normal readings, I don't. If we need more cards, we'll get them, but otherwise we'll probably stick with 3. And again, then we'll move on to the runes, and then we'll close out. And we'll let you get back to your day. So here we go. We'll take the first three cards. Well, we have the Hanged Man. Beginning a lot of major cards, a lot of them. It's rare when I don't have one or usually two. But if I don't have just one, it's odd. It's just odd. So it's the 12th card of the major arcana. You're going to see triple aspects throughout this card. It's about surrender. It's not about giving up. Surrendering to spirit, allowing spirit to inform, leaving ego to work it out on its own and transmute it into spirit. We don't do that from the position of ego. It's like, okay, I'm going to transmute myself from spirit or from ego into spirit. No, you do that by focusing on spirit. You give ego no life. You give ego no attention, no energy, and ego will then align in spirit. It's funny how that happens. So that's basically what that's saying. It's saying that we need to have a spirit perspective going forward. And we need to go forward in shared purpose with the Six of Pentacles. He's sharing his abundance with the less fortunate. These very, very ultra wealthy people, these billionaires, need to be the leaders that, excuse me, our president isn't. And magically fund some ventilators and protection equipment. Just pay for it. Let spirit control your perception and your behavior. And understand that you have the ability to save the world. So just do it. Mr. Bezos. Just do it. Besides, it'll drive the guy in the White House nuts. And wouldn't you like to do that? Well, we have the Star. We're going to wish upon a star. Our dreams are going to come true. This is a really positive card. 18th or 17th card, sorry, of the major arcana. So an 8 energy. The 8 is an interesting number. It's practical. It's if you start to look at things magnified, you begin with a 2 and decision and balance, and then you go to the 4, which is structure. It can also be respite, but it's letting things settle in and form, basically. The 6 is shared purpose. So now you're starting to move outside the self and the initial integration with others, and you're moving forward into shared purpose, which is and shared abundance as well. So you're seeing the activity increase basically toward harmony, more and more harmony. And then with eventual folding back into source, which is ultimate harmony. But with the 8, you want to think the god Tyr. You want to think the rune Tiwaz from the Elder Futhark. So you're looking at a different level of practicality and harmony and leadership. It's about being able to see the bigger picture here and to understand that we need to come together now. And maybe do things in a way that that are selfless. You look at the 6 of Pentacles, and he's doing something he's in balance. He's achieving a better balance for himself, leveling the playing field in some ways. So this could indicate that the aid package is going to be helpful to us going forward through this process of having to stay home and not work, businesses to remain shuttered for a time while we flatten this whole. Look, if we can get it below, if we can get people healthy again, if people aren't getting sick, that's to our advantage. The economy is going to come back a lot quicker if we just take the time now. If we don't do it for another 6 months, well, Lord only knows what it's going to look like. So you have to hunker down now, and that's why you need the federal government to support people. Okay? It's not about the businesses. It's about the people, because without the people, the businesses aren't going to exist. This is a ground up situation. From the ground up, not from the top down. All right. And it has to be that way. So hopefully they're listening to the Democrats. They got something last night. So hopefully they did. Schumer seems happy about it. So, but you don't know. Senators don't always see things the way the House of Representatives do. So I think the House sees things from the everyman perspective. And so we'll see. But right now, for us to be, and we're gonna make the Six of Pentacles be our center card, and we're going to have the today's major cards inform the shared purpose process. What do we have to do to get there? We should simply be there. If we were aware of the fact that we are spirit inhabiting bodies, then it would be a little easier to maintain that perspective. But we get caught up in the whole world of it and the here of it and the ego of it, and we begin reacting instead of creating, and then here we are. So it's what we've been doing forever. I don't know when the shift away from awareness of who we are began, but there was a time when we knew, and then we don't, and I don't know. Patriarchy began. So the influence of the Great Mother had subsided, and the equality and shared purpose of the tribes gave way to patriarchy and male-dominated control, and we have what we have now. And I hate to put it that way, but it's a fact. So I don't know. In order to release some of that and get back into shared purpose, though, we need to align in source presence. Let's talk a little bit, though, about the Hanged Man. We have triple aspects with the 3 energy. We see it with the gallows pole that he's hanging from. We see it here, 1, 2, and 3 with the foot, the knee, and the other foot. We have a triple aspect there, and we have the triple aspects here. And there's probably a 4th triple aspect there somewhere. But you see the light radiating from his head. That's the light of spirit informing his whole earthly existence. He's aligning and he's balancing mind, body, spirit alignment. And he's bringing his thoughts to rest. And he's considering everything from the standpoint of the soul and what our true purpose here is. It's not that we weren't supposed to have an individual experience, but it was within the collective, right? We should know that when we look at the other, that it's the other side of self. We would know that. Had that shift not happened to us, we would know that we would be seeing the other side of self. We would be seeing family, whether they're of our immediate family or not. They would be part of the greater tribe that we're part of. Here we have the goddess in her pure form. She's nude, unashamed, a knee on the land, a foot in the water. So earth and water elements, nourishing the land from the water, nourishing our physical experience with hope and love and peace. We see the large star above with 7 stars around it. She's pouring the blessings of spirit onto the land. When we think about the star, we're thinking about joy and optimism and transformation. We have, like I say today, we have a lot of 4th quadrant stuff, the lot of stuff in the 12th house, but a lot of stuff in the 10th house. And when you see things in the 10th house, you're seeing things that are, and with Pluto being involved too in some of the aspects, with Mars and Jupiter and what else? Oh, who else is with Pluto here? I guess that's it. But Pluto's in the 10th house. We're taking a look at obviously, because we're home and we're self-isolating. You can say that it's about that, but things are changing. And a lot of things, when you are forced into a situation that is uncomfortable and unsure and there's fear involved, you, for whatever reason, we seem to hunker down a little bit, and in terms of our perception and in terms of our thinking, and we start to think about what's important. And maybe we have a breakthrough during this time. We transform some of what we think is important. And we realize that maybe what we thought was important really isn't, and maybe this other stuff is. So you can see where there's some underlying transformation that can happen to who we are as a people. And I really think that the underlying transition and transformation we're going to have will be in the direction of shared purpose and abundance with others. I think overall, I'm not going to add in my head. So we have a 3, we have a 6, so that's a 9, and we have a 9 here, or rather an 8, not a 9. So we have an 8. We have an 8 total. An 8 total for the reading. So again, being able to see the bigger picture, being able to think outside the box enough to know that you have some skills, you have money, you have resources, whatever you have that can assist others during this time. We need to be making use of that. Whether it's, even if it's just, I saw a picture where someone had put up on Twitter, she and her family had helped some refugees that had relocated here when they first came. I think they might have lived with them or they sponsored them or something, I don't know. She went out, she took a picture, she looked out her front porch, and there was bags of food. And it was from the refugees from before who are now, living and working, and I think they have a business, or I don't know what they did, but they're here and they're functioning well, right? They're citizens probably, I don't know. Maybe they're not yet, I don't know. But they brought all this food and supplies for these people that helped them to get established here. So you see the reciprocity that's happening, and that's part of the 8 energy as well. And we can't forget that. If you have the ability to help safely from a distance, but help, then please do so, because we need it. You might help somebody that they're sitting there wondering, I don't know how I'm going to survive. And their world is crashing down around them right now. But then they look outside and they see some food on the porch, and it's like, oh, wow. There might not be anybody there. There might not be anybody standing back going, hi. There doesn't need to be. Just leave it. Do something nice for someone else this time. Even if it's just checking in with people. That may be all they need. Just a little bit of contact with the outside world, especially if they're by themselves, and especially if they've already lost somebody. Be sure to check in with them. But I don't think that we need another card. I think that it's very, very clear what the message of this is, that whatever we have to do to get into shared purpose with others, align in spirit, understand the, we shoot for the stars basically on this, right? It's really not, hopes and wishes are great, but we need to put those hopes and wishes into action, and those people that can do so, do it. It'll be the best thing you've ever done. And you'll feel that way afterwards. Don't you want that? Here we have Yura. Yura, I believe, is the 12th. Is it the 12th? Yeah, it's the 12th rune of the Elder Futhark. So again, it's aligning with the Hanged Man. As above, so below energy. It's Kenaz turned forward and reversed, expressing the light of spirit inward and outward. This is an easy one. I don't actually have to draw it out. You can see that. That's Kenaz twice to create Yura. Yura is about growth and fertility. It's about abundance. It's also about shared purpose. It's about moving energy through the body. It can be useful in I use Yura in a garden bind rune. I have a binder. I need to remake them actually this year because they've been out there for about 5 years, and so every few years I have to remake them. The weather and the wind and the elements just destroy it, and so then basically it's used up its purpose, so it has to be redone. It's like feeding mojo bags, right? Or feeding sourdough starter. I've been reading about that too. I'm gonna do a gluten-free sourdough starter, I think, because I like sourdough bread, and I prefer it to be gluten-free. So although sourdough bread for people that do eat gluten-free doesn't seem to affect them as much as regular wheat does without being sourdough'd or something. I don't know. It must be the fermentation process or something that helps. I think that's what it is. I think that's what I read. But Yura is back to the rune. Yura is just a wonderful rune. It's just one of those as above, so below energy runes that transfers spirit energy throughout the whole experience. And again, that's what I think that we need. We need energy from the higher self to inform our way forward. The choices we make, the perceptions we have, the attitudes we have, the beliefs we have, in order to see us as part of a shared experience. We have to understand that, right? We have to feel that. And that's what I think runes like Yura do. They magnify that source presence energy and spirit energy that's moving throughout everything and informing everything. If we would just pay attention, that's all we have to do. We just have to turn our attention away from reaction and fear and doubt and raise the frequency into spirit and understand that solutions are there, that we can do this, and we're going to come out better on the other side for it. Maybe we don't know. That's the thing. There could be things that happen out of this, ways of living in this country that maybe address healthcare concerns. You could see a shift in belief at the federal level on what our healthcare needs to look like, right? So you don't know. There could be tremendous societal change that occurs from this, that something this awful stimulates into being. We're in a 22-year. It's the cosmic builder. Soul is already here and present, making things happen. Let's just help it along. That's all I'm saying. Well, this is an easy one. Am I going to like it? No. Well, it's okay, though. It's Tristitia, and it's loss, and that is a component of what we're all experiencing. Loss of movement, loss of freedom, maybe loss of loved ones. Whenever we're feeling restriction, it can have to do with that. But Tristitia is a little bit more emotional than that. So Tristitia is recognizing the fact that we're all in a certain level of loss right now. Whenever you don't, and sadness, because you don't know the future. And if you have experienced the worst, if you are experiencing it now, life is uncertain. And because of that, the joy we could feel with the star is challenged right now. And I guess what it's reminding us is that as hard as it may be, we have to figure out how to move out of the loss and into something productive. Because the problem with the loss aspect is that it tends to keep us, it keeps us from moving. Loss is the ego likes loss. The spirit, on the other hand, looks at a loss in a different way. It sees the cycles, it sees the whole picture, it sees all of it involved. And when we can do that, and with this 8 energy we're experiencing, with the reading, the 7 energy that we're experiencing today, with coming to balance and taking the observer role, what it's saying is that if we react, we're likely to be more in the place of loss and sadness, and then maybe unable to take care of ourselves in a way that we could. We might stop thinking outside the box. We might stop. You see what I'm saying? You get depressed and you can't do things. It just almost becomes impossible. So we want to stay out of that. We want to stay away from that. We want to take those moments when we're feeling sad, when we're feeling it, where nothing is going right. And we want to take that moment to draw all of our energy back to us. Just visualize all of the energy that all of your thoughts, all of your interactions, all of your fears, all of everything as points of energy extending from your body. come into a still point. Visualize those energetic channels that you've created through all your thoughts, all your perceptions, all your fears, all of your interactions. See them dissolve and draw back what's left to the center and begin again. Visualize white light coming in to your center, healing all of those thoughts and beliefs and perceptions and interactions that produced fear and loss within. And be bathed in that glory, in the true glory of self, in the glory of the Creator. Be bathed in that and be renewed. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, come back and begin again. And focus on the shared purpose we have together. Focus on getting through this in a way that keeps you, even if it's just, if you have an animal and you're watching the animal laugh at your dog, laugh at your cat. Think about a wonderful memory from the past, maybe. Do whatever it takes. Find a reason to laugh, and you will elevate your mood instantly. But do the calling back of your energy as often as you need to. Because when things get unsettling, when things are upsetting, we're reaching out for solutions when the solution is here. Truly. The solution is all in how we see things. Whether we see them from the standpoint of spirit or whether we see them from the standpoint of ego. Gary Zukav used to, I can't remember the name of the book he wrote, but I remember it was years ago, and he was talking about, the name escapes me, but he was talking about the choice, I believe it was Gary Zukav, talking about the choice between living in love and unity or living in fear and doubt. If we choose love and unity and shared purpose, everything, our spirit elevates everything. Our frequency rises, and we're able to get through moments like these of much, much better than if we succumb to fear and doubt. So invoke the hanged man and the surrender of the hanged man, but surrender to spirit. Just surrender to spirit. And it will help you get through the coming days. And again, stay connected virtually, online, 6 feet apart with masks. I don't know what else you do right now. I think we can succumb to it or we can thrive. And I think that we need to make the choice to thrive. And then when all is said and done, we'll figure it all out, and we'll hopefully be able to move on from there in a much better direction. So when all is said and done. So that's my hope, but we'll see. I think that humanity is quite resourceful. I think life bends toward spirit. I think life bends toward oneness and unity. No matter how, I think that when you see that not happening, I think we're really struggling in that moment to keep it from happening. I think if we just drop resistance and love one another, it would be so much better. But, it's a challenge, it's a struggle, and but we'll get there. I know we will. So we just all have to know that. And once we do, lots of great things can happen. So anyway, all this is going to go up on the blog. The correspondences are going to go up here pretty soon. So I'll be watching this and doing those. And I'll probably get those posted before this thing gets uploaded to YouTube and then published on the blog. So, you can check it out there. You can check it out on the blog either way. It's the same thing. So check out my Instagram. Over the Stepping Aside's Instagram account, there's a link to that below the video too in my link section here. I do a video and post alert telling people, hey, go over to the blog. Stuff just went up, so check that out. And I do that every day or most every day. I'm going to probably start checking in there though every day. Um, if not doing something here every day, even if it's just a little thing, whether we do a reading or not, just to stay connected with everybody. I just think it's so important right now. And we just need to be each other's lifelines. And so I'd like to be that for everybody. And I hope everybody would feel the same for everybody else. And together we can network a humongous lifeline throughout the world. And just check in with one another and make sure that everybody's okay. So, and support them. Just be supportive, be compassionate, be caring, be loving. That's all there is to that. That's all we have now, right? And that's everything, really. So we'll see you tomorrow. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.